Well, it's that time of year and we've got some ripe figs. Now, I know that I have not put a whole lot of energy into the gardens and the fig orchard this year and shown you any of that stuff, but it's still happening. It's still going on. The figs are growing out there. I do have some thoughts on that for the future, and I will pose questions to you guys in other videos, and we are going to go out and talk about that fig orchard at some point. But for right now, I want to show you what's going on. We've got a couple ripe figs on a couple different trees. Let's go check them out. So some of you have been following me for a while, saw those videos I did probably 5 or 6 years ago now, where I went over to the 40-acre homestead across the road and we found that fig tree that Jim Wilson told me about. Have no idea what the variety is. His parents planted it, I don't know, probably 50 or 60 years ago, but it is a really great fig for my area, the Puget Sound region. It ripens really well, and if you guys go back and watch those videos, I'll put links down in the description below. It was like a 5-video series. You'll see in the last video, towards the end, I found the ripest fig ever on that tree, and it was absolutely outstanding. I had to bring copies of that sucker home and bring it to my property. So I've been growing this one in a 7-gallon pot for a while now. Like I said, I call it Jim Wilson. I'm not trying to come up with any fancy new variety. It really is probably just some standard fig. I have no idea what it is, but it's near and dear to my heart because it reminds me of Mr. Jim Wilson. Anyway, we got a ripe fig on this thing, so let's check it out. Now, one thing I really like about this tree in particular is it's always loaded with figs. It just keeps pumping them out all summer long. We've got figs over on this branch. We've got figs down in here. Those are just starting to ripen. You can see this one right here hanging down. And as we come down the branch further, look what we've got. You see it already. One beautiful, and I think it's fully ripe fig. It looks really nice. You can see the eye there for those of you who are fig connoisseurs. But there it is, one beautiful ripe fig. And then we've got 2 more that are trying to ripen. They're still a little more firm right down here. Anyway, I'm going to pull that one off real quick. We're going to take it inside and chill it in the fridge because personally, I like chilled figs. And then we'll check this thing out, cut it open, show it to you, and eat it. And we're going to go out into the orchard real quick and see one more ripe fig that it caught my eye the other day. There it is. All right, let's head out there. So you can see the orchard needs to get mowed desperately, but it's been such a long, dry, hot summer that I just haven't had to do a whole lot of mowing, and so I've got a lot of scraggly stuff coming up in the back there where it's a little bit shadier in the early morning. But you can see a lot of these guys are coming up good. We've got our Celeste. There's some issues going on in this orchard. I'm going to make another video. We're going to talk about all that, but my Celeste, one whole side of it died back last winter. We had kind of a weird winter. And I had a few figs actually die completely. Don't have any other copies of them. And so that's the end of it. And I can point some of those out. But one of them was my Cavalier right there that I actually got directly from Keith Karuski, KK. That was right there and it was doing great. It was a beautiful fig. I actually got one to ripen one year indoors in the tent. And that was the only one I had, and it's gone. It is not coming back. So if I ever want one again, I'm gonna have to find it somewhere. I don't know if I want one again. We'll talk about all that. Anyway, this is that improved Celeste. It's starting to finally pump some figs out right there. You can see coming along there. This one's getting a later start this year. There was nothing earlier, and even though it's a hot, dry summer, I don't know if I'm gonna get some, well, probably a few of them will ripen, but there's a little bit bigger one there. But I don't know if I'm going to get a lot out of that tree this year. I guess time will tell. But this is the one that's impressing me the absolute most. Now, I don't have any ripe figs on it yet, but in every year seems to be with this thing, it gets all the way to the end and never completely fully ripens, but it's such a young tree. Well, this year, it has been loaded with fruit, and it's one of the very only trees that I've got here that all the branching above the ground stayed in good viable condition, and it's growing into a nice little tree here in the Puget Sound region, zone 8B. And this year, I think it's the 3rd or 4th year in the ground. If you guys have been following the fig orchard videos, then you could probably tell me better than I can tell you. Anyway, we've got just figs on the end of every branch, and the deer have even munched a few of the unripe figs off of these, but you can see figs all down through there. And this one ripened a fig one year when it was real young. I tried it and it was absolutely awesome. It was more of a berry fig. I loved it, and I haven't gotten a ripe fig since because it's just such a young tree. But I mean, you can see I'm loaded up this year, and I'm hoping with all this heat we're gonna get some ripe figs. Maybe another month, I don't know. But if any of you are wondering, this is Tacoma Violet, and it is actually doing the absolute best of all my fig trees this year. But here's what we're out here for. I've got this Italian honey here, and it is finally starting to ripen some figs. As you can see down in there, I'm gonna put our little Jim Wilson down, and we'll take a look here. Ooh, that is super soft right there. Just super soft. I'm gonna pull that off. That's ready to go for sure. If I can get off, geez. That is really soft in there. It's ready to go. Let's put that next to Jim. And then we got another one. That one's really soft too. Maybe another day, but I don't want the deer to eat it. So we'll put that one right there. So we got 2 ripe Italian honey. They're not the biggest figs, but it's still a real young plant. And it's growing good and healthy. We had a little bit of dieback here. I've got some ideas for how I want to deal with all that, but anyway, there's our little haul for today. I think it was Eric in his Facebook group on Facebook. Anyway, he was mentioning his Daytray Esplets, and we kind of went back and forth a little bit about those, so I thought I'd show you mine. I actually had a few really early Brebas, and they were getting big and swelling up like a month ago or more, and I thought they were, because of our hot, dry summer, I thought they were just gonna ripen up and do real well. And then the deer came along and munched them right off before they even got close to ripening, which kind of bummed me out. But you can see it's just coming right back, and it's been putting on tons of figs ever since then. I don't know if any of those will ripen or not. We've, like I said, long, dry, hot summer, so we've got a shot at it. But there's the Daytray Esplets, and it's doing real well. Anyway, let's go grab those 3 figs. We're gonna get them in the fridge. All right, so these figs have had time to chill nicely in the fridge. I've got my 2 daughters out here, and we're all gonna try these figs now. So let's look at these guys. This was the Jim Wilson fig we talked about here from that 40-acre homestead across the street. And I remember trying this a bunch of years ago over there off of a tree that was growing in ground. This one is actually grown in a pot, as you saw. And it was really good. There's the eye for those of you that are interested. It's open. It doesn't have any honey coming out of it right now. But I do remember it had to be super ripe for it to be really good. So we'll see if this is ripe enough. I'm not sure. And then we've got an Italian honey, or Laterula, and that one is really soft and squishy and ripe. So I don't know if it's gonna be overripe or not, but there's that one. It's kind of small. And then another one. This one's not quite as soft, so there'll be a little bit of difference in sweetness or flavor. So let's cut these open. All right. Let's start with, since I'm so curious about that Jim Wilson. Actually, you know what? We're gonna save that. We're gonna save the best for last, right? Let's get that fly off my hand. All right, so get that down in there, Al's, and let's see what this guy looks like when we cut it open. This is the Italian honey. That's exactly how it looked last year. Really nice looking stuff. It's a honey fig, so you know it's not gonna be a berry color, a berry flavor. It's just a real sweet, fruity, figgy kind of flavor. All right, let's cut this one open here. This is that real soft one. I'll bet that's gonna be good too. Oh man, that is juicy inside. We'll see, hopefully it's not too ripe. Look at that, look at the different skin in there. So this one is not quite as ripened, and here's the one, I'm gonna get closer there. Here's the one that is just juicy and was really soft, and then there's the one that wasn't as ripe, but it's still soft. So we'll see a difference in flavor there. And then you know what, let's just go ahead and cut this open now. All right. Get in there, Owls, get in there. We wanna see this thing. All right. There it is. That's the color that I remember. Now, I do remember the really ripe fig that I ate like 5 years ago off that one across the street. It was a darker color around the edge where you see that dark come in, and it was absolutely sweet. I mean, super, super sweet and really good. And so that's what convinced me to take some cuttings of that thing and keep it going. I don't think this fig is over there anymore because there's been a lot of construction and dump trucks and equipment going over there, and I think they're starting to build houses and things like that. But we're gonna find, we've got it now, so it doesn't matter, but let's try it. All right, so this is the Jim Wilson. We're gonna try that. I'm gonna save the bigger half for the girls and split that into quarters for them. So here we go. Show you one more time. Pretty juicy in there. We'll see. That's good, buddy. That is definitely a berry tasting fig. Berry slash honey. It's not like the Black Madeira or the BNR berry. It's not intense berry, but it's like it's got berry and a lot of honey, and it's really good. I like that. We're planting that thing out on our property. All right, I'm gonna save this one for you girls, and I'm gonna try these Italian honey, and then I'm gonna film you girls trying these things. All right, so I'm gonna have one each of these. So this is the one, this is the Italian honey that's not quite as ripe. We'll try that real quick. That's good. You can tell it's not as ripe. It's a little more fresh tasting, or I don't know how to say it. It's real honey, but almost like less sugary honey than this one. This one's real sweet and sugary. All right, let's try this guy now. This is that soft, juicy Latarula. It's good, Allie. That's good. You just gotta pick these things when they're the most ripe. That's good. So this one just wasn't quite as ripe. Okay, so let's get down here. We're gonna cut these up for you guys, and then I'm gonna film you eating them. So I'm gonna cut that one into quarters so you can try the not quite as ripe. And we can do this in the same order I did it in, okay?
Okay.
And then we're gonna cut that one into quarters. And then we're gonna cut this one. This, I really liked this one right here. You want to do it in the same order? That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do it. So there's my two girls. We've got Allie, the oldest, she's 14 years old, and we've got Emily, the youngest, she's almost 13 years old. We're headed into teenagerhood. So what do you girls think? You excited to try these figs?
Yes. Yeah.
It's gonna be nice, huh? All right, so who's going first?
Me.
You. Wait. Are we doing it in the same order? Okay, go ahead and grab it. See what you think.
That one is really good.
You like that? What do you taste? What does it taste like to you? Don't go off of what I said. What do you think it tastes like?
Like a fig?
That's a good answer. Any undernotes, or I don't know. I'm not a wine drinker. I don't know how you're supposed to talk about figs, but
I'm a bad judge.
I hear you. But you like it. Was it sweet?
Yeah.
Does it taste like honey or berry or both?
I'd say more honey.
More honey? Maybe it was more honey. It's not berry like that BNR that I had here, and it's, or the Black Madeira. It is more, or the Tacoma Violet. It is definitely more honey, but it's got a berry note to it, at least in my book. All right, Emily, do it. She's like, come on, Dad, I want to eat some figs, dude. What do you think?
That's good.
You like it? All right. What do you think? Any specific flavor?
No.
Just fig. All right. So what are we doing next? We got to go after.
Which one was next?
So that one's next. One of those two, and that's the one that's not as ripe, the Latarula or Italian honey.
Okay. You can try yours. I like that one too.
I like it too. It's pretty good, but for me it felt.
Doesn't really have a taste.
Yeah, it tastes more watered down than the one you just tried. Did you like the Jim Wilson one better? I did too. I liked that one. I thought it was really good. All right, let's try that. Now this one's, it's the same tree, but it's just more ripe. So try that and see if you notice a difference. I think you guys will like it.
That one's much sweeter and better.
Much sweeter, not watered down, tastes a lot better. Yeah, so you really do have to pick these things at the right time when they're fully ripe.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. First fig video of the season. It took us most of summer to get to this point because of the house build. We've been tied up, but when we notice ripe figs, we got to eat them, right?
Yeah,
you guys
the birds will get them.
That's right. They sure will. They actually pecked a few of them already, and the deer have gone after a few. I'm going to have to build an 8-foot fence out there. I already know it. But anyway, I really like that Jim Wilson fig. And like I said, I'm not trying to sell any new fig. I don't care about any of that. I named it that because I have no idea what it's called. It's near and dear to my heart. It grows awesome in my climate. I don't know if it would grow well in every climate, but it grows great in the Pacific Northwest and in zone 8B, and I thought it was good, man. I love it. So we're going to plant that thing on our property, and I know we're going to get figs from it every year because Jim, when he moved from that big piece of property down to where he was, did you girls ever go to his house?
We might have.
You might have stopped there once with me, but when he moved over to that other piece of property, he took one of those with him, a little start, and had it there for years. And his wife, every year, made fig preserves. And so every year, that one ripens in my area. And I know, by golly, I'm going to get figs with that tree. And it's a really good fig. So, all right. I think that's enough for now. I hope you guys enjoyed our little fig tasting. If you did, you know what to do. Hit that like button. Subscribe if you want to follow along. Have a fantastic week. And we will see you in the next video. Adios.